Building information modeling obviously allows us to look at the buildings in a much more detailed way before we actually start construction. So the chief benefit for us versus sort of the traditional way of working with paper drawings and whatnot is that by building this model, we're moving all the decision making and the problem solving and actually identifying the problems much more forward in the project schedule so that we can be much more proactive versus reactive. And that gives us a lot more lead time to deal with those problems and then mitigate them before there's a cost impact. The costs are, different for every part of the industry. If you're a consultant, you have to look at taking your staff off of CAD systems and moving them onto a BIM system, like a 3D modeling system. So there's a learning curve cost there, there's software costs, they might need to upgrade their hardware and whatnot. For a general contractor, typically, we issue computers to our staff in the field and whatnot, and the software that we use can be run on those computers. So internally, we've ramped up and we train people internally so that the same coordinator that was in the field working with paper is now working with a 3D model. So the costs aren't that significant. And then the subtrades are also developing models in lieu of shop drawings. And there is cost there, obviously, similar to how the consultants had to work away from CAD systems. The subtrades have to work in 3D, and they have to adapt the new tools, software, and whatnot. But there's a real value there, and that's what the savings is, obviously. From a subtrades perspective, they're going in for a fixed price to perform a certain amount of work, and they want to do that in the most efficient way. They want to do things once. They don't want any rework. So by building a 3D model of whatever their scope is, they can clearly identify what they're going to do in advance of doing it. They can quantify the amount of systems or materials that they need, which helps them to control their risk. So it's really about cost certainty. And that helps the subtrade put in a more accurate bid. It helps us as a general contractor to collect information that's more accurate, and it helps us to manage our clients' risk and ensure certainty all through the process. We're deploying coordinators to our projects that are specialists with this technology. So just like 10 years ago, you had to be an expert at blueprint reading, and well, you still do. Now we have experts that can manage a 3D modeling process to bring together all these models coming from different sources and integrating them. So as a company, we needed to ramp up some of the technology that we were using, shifting from CAD systems to BIM systems. We're using many different softwares, and we have to because everyone in the industry is using all sorts of different softwares. So we have to have the ability to work with all that information, and that requires a specialized skill set. Another one of our initiatives that we've taken on, in addition to developing building information modeling and virtual construction group in the company, is we saw the need, because now we're working with 3D models, we need to be able to transfer that information to the field in a real way, in a meaningful way. So obviously we need to be able to go from the model to a total station to go survey and actually lay out the systems directly from the 3D model. So our group is also now developing a surveying group, a geodetics group, and part and parcel of that is actually doing 3D scanning. So we have the ability now, we have a 3D scanning devices, instruments, that we go out to the field and actually can scan in all directions and collect 1 million points of data and collect a 3D model of an existing condition. So we're doing this now regularly with, in design build, where we're dealing with an existing condition. We can go scan that condition and then bring that 3D model into the BIM software to actually build out the new building around that existing condition, and it's exact. We're also doing it to create as-builts for clients. One of the challenges that clients often have is they have no as-builts on their drawings, or have no drawings that represent the building. And it's very difficult to maintain a building if you don't know what you have. So as part of that service, we can go in and scan an existing facility in 3D and then provide a web portal access to a 3D scan that the client can walk around.